today we are going to do the small latte and slushy cups. This is a really, really fun one. We're going to use a bunch of different supplies and tools and techniques to create different cups. I'm going to do 3 different ones for you today. We are going to do an iced vanilla latte, a Mocha Frappuccino, and a slushy. So we're going to do the 3 different things. We're going to have a bunch of different supplies. You're going to need alcohol inks in the browns. I've got a white alcohol ink ready to go. This is a piñata. I've also got the Ranger. I think this is Tim Holtz's Ranger. This is latte. This is going to be the light brown. Then we've also got the Ranger Tim Holtz espresso inks. All right, guys, those are the 3 ink colors I'm going to work with. But again, it's all personal preference. I've got my stir sticks handy. I've got all my little mixing cups ready to go. We are going to set this aside. I'm going to get all set up. I'm going to show you some more supplies in the next little bit. I'm going to get the red. I'm going to mix up my epoxy. This is by weight. LittleLee and Rose epoxy is by weight. 15 grams of part A and 5 grams of part P is a 3-to-1 mixture. It's a lot more fluid than other epoxies that you're used to, but it does not bubble at all, and it has a very, very high heat tolerance. So it's just brilliant, gorgeous mica powder. All right, so we are going to stir up our epoxy, and we're going to add one little scoop on the end of this stick, my little scooper stick, my stir stick, and add it in there. All right, guys, just so you know, I'm still wearing my nitrile gloves. I'm still wearing my chemical mask. This is very important because we still have this epoxy all mixed up, and it's doing its chemical reaction. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pour this right onto this rock salt. I'm going to start with half. It's going to be just like making pancakes again. And we're going to stir it into that rock salt, get that color all through that rock salt. So you can see the beautiful vibrant red. It's so fun. And it makes it coated. It's going to coat what we're going to call the ice for the slushy. You don't want to get too much because then it gets too drippy. Pile it up again. We're going to pile it all the way up like a snow cone to the lid. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set this to the side and let it cure up. All right, guys, we are about to start working on our little Mocha Frappuccino. We've got our little cup ready here. We've got our UV light over here to the right. This is just going to simulate the sun. If you don't have a UV light for like doing your nails or a little UV flashlight, you can just set the cup outside. That's all you got to do. This is just, I'm indoors here in my workshop, so this is just meant to simulate the sunlight over here. Mix some dark brown UV resin. What we're going to do is that's just the UV resin. I put a little bit in there, and now we're going to add the dark brown. This is going to be espresso. I was going to use the inks, guys, but I'm going to show you how you could do it with this because I will always try to give you guys the budget-friendly option if there is one. So you can use the alcohol inks. They work great. They just have a different look. Everything is going to be personal preference while you're doing this. I'm going to start with 1 drop because, like I said, the epoxy will get gummy if you add too much acrylic paint to it, and it gets weird and stringy. All right, guys, you can see we have the little chocolate drizzle all along the outside. It's going to stay in place because that UV resin has cured up. It's very easy to work with. I love this stuff. All right, guys, we are now going to move on to the blended iced part. Again, probably mixed too much epoxy because my scale wasn't reading it because I have epoxy all over my scale because I'm so busy I forget to clean off the scale, so it's built up on there. But I've got my silicone stick. I've got my little mix. This is a 3-to-1 mixture of the LittleLee and Rose. Again, I love this because it has 0 bubbles that you have to contend with trying to deal with down inside that cup. So we're going to do 2 drips of this light beige, beautiful, like milky coffee with all the beautiful creamers. And we're going to do 1 drip of the dark, just so it's not just too light. And we're going to stir that up. We're now working on getting our coffee color, guys. Before we were working to get, we were working towards getting the perfect color for the chocolate. Now we're working on getting the perfect color for the coffee. So we're just gonna keep adding drips of paint and stirring it vigorously. So now we have this beautiful, creamy color. And we're gonna do the same thing we did with the slushy. We're gonna pour this over our ice and stir it in. Oh my gosh, it actually looks like coffee. It looks like very, nope, and I might have actually put too much in there. We'll see. Oh no, it's gonna be perfect. So this one I'm gonna make it a little thicker because we're not gonna mound this one up like we did with the other. This is just meant to look like ice inside the coffee. And we're gonna just take our little cup, pour it in there, make sure all the ice goes in there. Fill it to the top. So this is meant to represent like the ice chips inside the Frappuccino. Okay, for this one, now we are going to use the UV resin again. And the reason we're going to do that is because we want it to cure quickly, because we don't want the colors fusing together and mixing together while the epoxy slowly cures over hours and hours and hours. We want to freeze it in time as we're kind of mixing the white and the caramel color for our vanilla latte together. So we're going to be using the UV resin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 different cups. I'm going to guesstimate on how many milliliters I have. I should have probably measured this out, but like I said, I usually do like 10 of these at a time, so I'm not used to doing these tiny little batches. Okay, just a little white in that one. That's going to be our cream. Then we're going to do the same over here, what we did for the Frappuccino. We are going to do a little bit of the light color, 2 drips, and 1 drip of the dark. All right, so now I'm just going to have to vigorously stir this one. It's going to take a second to make sure all that paint is blended. I'm going to put you on high speed. Now we've got our ice in the cup. I have a total of 4 chips in there now. They're sticking up just a little bit, but I have tested with the cap. So I know the cap goes on. The little ice will stick above. That's fine. It'll just give it a really cool effect. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of take this and we're going to swirl this around and do the different colors and the different layers to make it look kind of like a vanilla latte that's kind of been poured in there with the espresso and then the creamer and all that good stuff. It's really fun. So we're just going to do a little bit. And just pouring it down, letting it settle down in the cup as it goes, a little at a time. Mixing the colors, but not letting them blend, but just pouring them in separate. Layer to layer to layer. So we get a really cool swirl pattern. Okay, we'll just stick these both on. So that's the one I just did to show you guys me pouring, my little pouring technique of the mixing. This is the one I just did a second ago. And we are going to turn on our UV light. There we go. We're going to slide those in. We're going to run them through 2, maybe 3 full cycles. All right, guys, here we are. We are back. These have gone under this one was done under the UV light, but look how cool that looks. You can see all like the milky swirl with the coffee. It looks exactly like a coffee from a coffee shop. So cool. This is your Frappuccino with the little bits of ice down in there and the drizzle. This is your Mocha Frappuccino with the chocolate drips. And this is your slushie. How fun is that? All right, so now we're gonna put the lids on. We're gonna get our little dollop of whipped cream on this guy. We're gonna put our lids on. And so here is our dollop of whipped cream. I'm gonna push that on there. Perfect. All right, so how stinking cute is that? So cute. This one is the whipped cream that was the silicone caulk. This one, the mastic caulking. Don't have epoxy, we can use this E06. I use a toothpick so I don't overdo it. So I just get a little on a toothpick because these are so small, these little things. Put the lid on the E06. We'll start with this one. And I'm just gonna carefully run it along the edge here. Doesn't take a lot, guys. So we are just gonna do this along the edge. Sorry, I had to stop and get a little extra. Put it here. All right, I'm gonna throw that in my little trash can. And we're gonna pop the lid down on there. Perfect. Now I'm not gonna touch this for 24 hours after that. I wanna make sure that seal, press on it really, really good. And I'm gonna set that to the side. So is that not adorable? This is gonna be your little 7-Eleven slushie. Well, he's not home. He's home for a couple hours. Home for lunch. A little family time right in the middle of the day. All right, so that's super cute. There's our icy. All right, so we're just gonna let these dry and we'll be right back, guys.
Finger.
Are you using one finger?
Yeah.
Okay. One finger, guys.
Don't touch
That looks like a lot more than one finger. That if you're picking it up, you're using more than one finger.
Don't. I will. I get leave it here. I'll get leave it.
Thank you.
And I'll get leave this one here too.
Oh, good. We're moving all of them. Okay. Good job. That's good organizing. Hey, Vera, you know that you have no pants on?
Yeah.
And no diaper? Have you gone potty?
Yeah.
Okay, when I turned my back, my triplets got in here. And we're playing. They cannot resist the little tiny things, like the little pet shop things that in the little Polly Pockets. Those are their favorite toys. 3 years old, and everything they want is tiny. So of course they saw these tiny little coffees and Slurpees, and they could not help themselves. So if you want to see a super cute blooper reel, I filmed two of my triplets over here having a full-on conversation about who gets to hold what, and how much they get to touch, and what they are. But in the middle of that, they actually kind of ruined them. So I really let my kids explore and touch things and check things out. So that's why I was letting them play with them. You can see there's little fingerprints on everything right now. That's just who I am as a mom. I don't want them to be afraid of exploring. So I let them touch them, but we messed up our icy a little bit. The Hello Kitty, they actually ripped it off because they saw the little kitten and they're like, cat! And they pulled the sticker off. It hadn't quite dried. It was still wet. But that actually turned out as a good thing because I can show you guys, I didn't even think about this. I should show you guys what this is like to work with the sticker paper because we're going to add, I was already going to do this for the next step is add our fun little details, but I'm going to show you the Starbucks label done on clear printable sticker paper. This will be linked under the tutorial, guys. I'm a big fan of this. I find it pretty easy to work with because it's nice and stiff. So if water slide gives you fits, if clear water slide gives you fits, this is an option because it's a lot easier to work with. You see, you just peel it back like a sticker. Whoop. But it will be more hollow, so it won't have such heavy pigment. And let's see if we can get it. There we go. Trying to decide placement. I'm gonna go ahead and stick it right here. There we go. So you can see this is more like the clear cups. You can kind of see the difference there. We've got the white background and no white background. It really is just what your personal preference goes for and what you're looking for in the end product and the end result. And then I printed out these super cute, this is the little selection thing that says like the name and then it says like sugar, cream, or you know, with the things that they check off on the sides. I don't know, you guys, I don't drink caffeine. So I just know this is part of their thing that they ask you these questions and they fill out these little boxes. And I think the little boxes add a fun little detail. So I'm gonna add them to the cups. But I try not to touch them with my hands because my hands leave fingerprints. So I'm trying to just get it started and then press it down and there you go. So there's a very, very, very faint line for the sticker paper, guys, but it's so faint it's not even worth, I don't find it to be even worth bothering with. So we have, we do it just like the Starbucks cup with the logo on the side and the selection bar. So the logo kind of what would be the front and the selection side on the bar on the side. I'm gonna add this one to the other one just to finish it. I've tried doing this in white water slides so you can see it better, guys. It does not work because these are all very, very tiny, tiny features and it wants to cut out each individual feature. And that is why the clear sticker paper works for this. See, if you select a spot that's a little bit darker with a darker coffee spot, it shows up a little bit better. Actually, maybe it would have been better on the white. I don't know, but it looks fine. So there we go. So that adds a nice little fun detail. I'm gonna go ahead and finish out this icy one off camera, probably replace that, and then we will be right back, guys. See you soon. So you can see this one's got the water slide on it, the clear water slide. This is the fun one. And then this one is the icy with the clear as well. And then this side you can see this is the white. So you guys, I left this one. I was actually going to switch it to clear, but I want to show you the difference. So this is on the white and this is on the clear. So you can see the difference. It's going to be preference on what you like to work with. And then this is the cute with the Starbucks on the side, the little toggles. So I hope you guys learned some fun stuff. Check out all my other tutorials. If this is the first tutorial you've seen of me, I don't do all little tiny things. I do big giant tumblers and crazy cups and teach you how to do fun designs on stuff like this. So check out my channel and you can follow along step by step and learn how to make some pretty cool stuff. All right, guys, see you on the next tutorial.